All right, we are live. Welcome to Hanging with TTO, where we do this every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe it's 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're watching this now, check it out. Make sure you send out any last-minute messages. You call, phone a friend. Let everybody know that we are hanging with TTO tonight, or you can pick up some golden nuggets from some awesome leaders that are on this team. I'm really excited to be here tonight. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. If you don't know who we have on the Hangout, I'm really excited to introduce you to some superstars. We have a featured person of the week in TTO. This is Kelly. Kelly, say hi, Kelly.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Kelly. Kelly Lord, right? Like, is that how
Yes.
I'm saying it? Because we didn't want to say Kelly Williams Lord. But you guys should go follow her on Facebook. Kelly has been raking in the leads after lead after lead. So we're going to talk to her about exactly how she's doing that. She's amazing. Such a person that I am happy that I have connected with. We also have Mr. Brent Stewart, Mr. Canada. I'm just going to put the camera on you, dude, because you're awesome. He has his microphone ready. He's got the ear gear going on. He rides a Harley. He's amazing. Dude, if you guys aren't following Brent, you should. He's got the best sense of humor, too, so we'll crack you up anytime. I know most of our messages are laughing. Sometimes we have some really serious conversations. So, Brent, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I appreciate it.
Nice to be here.
Thank you. All right, you guys, so I'm going to kind of get started with some updates and something that I want to talk to you guys about, and then we're going to talk to Kelly and introduce Brent, who has some golden nuggets for you guys as well. So, like I said, thank you guys so much for hanging with TTO, where we do this every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I just want to say, it's such an honor and pleasure to be able to hang out with such amazing people. Make sure that you are sending out any last-minute text messages or anything like that to your team members or anyone that you know on the team that will benefit from this, as I'm sure everyone will benefit from this. So one of the updates that I want to give is make sure that you are tagging your newest team members in our pin post inside of TTO. We don't want to reinvent the wheel here. We know exactly how to get started with your training. And you want to make sure that you're going to teamtakeovermarketing.com/sign-up-new. Make sure that you're doing that. Go inside of the pin post, inside of TTO Dream Team. Make sure that you are directing your people to go through the marketing system and then sign up new. That's the way to get started. We want duplication to happen. I'm actually going to screen share really quick. Let me click right here real quick, because I want to make sure that you guys are going to the right place, okay? So let me get on TTO Dream Team real quick. Make sure you guys can see the pin post. You guys who are, you guys are on here with me, not the entire screen, TTO Dream Team. Share, let me know if you can see my screen. Can you guys see that? Yeah? No?
Yes, can see it.
Okay, awesome. So whenever you sign up somebody new in the team, you want to make sure that you're tagging them inside of this pin post. Make sure that you go through the pin post with them. And right here, that first step is go to www.teamtakeovermarketing.com/sign-up-new. Make sure that you get that done. Let me stop screen sharing here for a second. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk all about fear and conquering fears and things like that. And I want to kind of tell you guys a little story or something that has helped me before we get started here. I was thinking about this, and hopefully you guys will resonate with me. Do you guys remember the movie The Matrix? Anybody seen that movie? Brent, you seen that movie, right? Yep. Where he's got to pick out the blue or the red pill or whatever. I don't know if you guys remember that, but if you haven't seen the movie The Matrix, you should go and watch it. And he has to pick out the red or the blue pill. I kind of feel that way about entrepreneurs. If you're watching this right now, you're an entrepreneur. You've seen things that other people just can't maybe see all the time. For me, it was always kind of like, I'll be driving into work or going somewhere and I feel like I was going with the flow, but always in the back of my mind thinking to myself, there's got to be something different. I don't want to eat lunch at 12 o'clock. I just don't. Dinner to me is anytime I feel like having it. I like to stay up late. I like to stay up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. That's my thing. No one should have to tell me what time I have to get up and not, how much work I have to put in or not. Self-motivation and driven. Kind of felt that way about Neo. We always felt that there was something new. Some of us are presented with the red and the blue pill, but never really swallow it. It's the fear of, do I really want to take the step or do I not? Do I really want to leap or not? As entrepreneurs, it's time, like you're on here, you're hungry for knowledge. There's something different. When you swallow that pill, there's some kind of clarity. Something that happens to you. You see something completely new. It's like, kind of going to get cheesy. It's like you're Trinity or something, and you're like, man, I'm just out here looking for Neo. Or you're Neo, and you're like, dang, I just got to find Trinity. I got to find my people. Once I find my people, I can conquer the world. It's like, all of a sudden, I'm going to get passionate. I'm going to sit up for you guys. It's like, remember Neo, and he kind of finds Trinity and finds his people, right? And then all these problems, it's like they all believed in him. The way that we're all sitting on this hangout right now, the way that I believe in Brent, the way that I believe in Kelly, the way that they believe in you guys, the way that we're all here together as a team and we believe in each other, there's power in that. There's power in finding your Neo. There's power in finding your Trinity. There's power in people saying, guess what? I believe in you. Guess what? I do. And all those people that believe in you, then all of a sudden, Neo, he's got things coming, he's got things flying, and we have the same thing, fear, rejection, all these things flying at us. When you have the power of all this backing of TTO, when you have the power of everything, all of a sudden you decide, I am the one, or I am Trinity, or whatever. And all of a sudden you can pick out bullets out of the air. Remember that scene where all of a sudden he realizes he's right where he's supposed to be, he's right where he belongs. He's like, everything becomes clear. And all the adversity, it's like for us, everything that happens, you could just and pick the bullets out. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about conquering fears. We're going to talk about finding people, getting out of your comfort zone, doing some incredible things, having the backing of team members, learning from other people. You guys, for me, that scene in that movie, or for me, how he kind of aligns himself with those people reminds me of TTO. Reminds me of everything that we want to be, right? I want you guys to imagine that for a second. Imagine that. Decide, have I really swallowed the pill yet? Have I really decided to take this venture yet? Have I really decided to go all in yet? Oh, you can kind of see it, but are you really seeing it all? Are you really seeing it all? Because for me, there's some kind of clarity. I know I'm surrounded by people who believe in the same thing. Give me power every single day. I know one day all the rejection and objections and all that stuff that fly out of me, I'm going to be able to pick them out of the air like bullets. Boom. Just like Neo in the Matrix. We're going to talk about fear and conquering things today. We're going to talk about people who understand us, people that we want to be surrounded by. With that being said, thank you guys for listening to that spiel right there. With that being said, though, I want to introduce you guys to Kelly. Lord, Kelly's amazing. I've talked to Kelly on the phone every once in a while. We have a great connection here. Kelly wants to tell you guys, Kelly wants to tell you guys how she's getting thousands upon thousands upon thousands of leads. What network marketer in this industry doesn't want to have more leads than they can handle? I mean, what a problem to have. It's not even a problem. I don't know what we talk about when we say problem. This is not a problem. This is the sunshine. She's hit gold. But the thing of it is we're a team and she wants to share it with you. She got on this hangout to share it with you. I want to make sure that we featured Kelly on this hangout today. So Kelly, say hello. Are you with us, Kel?
I am with you.
Thank you, Kelly, so much for sharing your wisdom, for coming on here, for stepping out of your comfort zone. I know minutes before, hours before, I'm telling Kelly to go get some ear gear. What the heck is ear gear? I'm like, the headphones, please. Go get some ear gear. We're going to make this happen. And she was just as motivated as I was, right? Like, we were excited.
Yes.
She's like, I'm going to be on the hangout. She's like, I don't care. My son might have them. Somebody might have them. But I'm going to go to the store right now, and I'm going to find ear gear. That's what I'm going to do. So Kelly, when she found some ear gear, she's going to share with us some of the things that she has learned or some of the tips that she has for getting those thousands of leads. So Kelly, can you just tell us, how many crazy leads have you gotten? What has happened in your life?
Well, I think I'm almost up to 15,000 leads. I think I've been on on the system for, I think, just over 2 months now. And I started on the system right after that big explosion of, where they had something going out on the rotator and everybody was getting leads, free leads and stuff. So I thought, well, I'll give it a try. And I got on there and I got a couple leads here and there and kind of tooled around the marketing system, had a little fun with that. I am the most untechy person, as you can tell, because I don't know what ear gear is.
I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you right there. Kelly just said she was the most untechy person. I've said that I was untechy, but people, for some reason, just keep deciding to call me techie. So here you have another person. This woman didn't know what ear gear was. So here we go. Didn't know what ear gear was. Keep going, Kel.
All right. So, and I had a couple, I put a couple capture pages up, and I was up late night putting them everywhere I could. And I kind of focused in the beginning, I focused on, the mom and dad's work from home, thinking, well, I can generate some interest there. Probably the biggest waste of my time. Not only did I not get any requests after hours and hours and hours of posting and looking and searching, I decided at that point I was going to get a little more creative. So I started contacting people that had blogs. Just general bloggers, whether it's a beauty blog or any kind of blog, and I asked them if I could, if they would be willing to put my capture page up on that. Untechy girl, I knew nothing about Twitter. I had to get familiar with Twitter, and I was putting them up on Twitter and tweeting or whatever you call it, and it was actually one of those that actually went viral. And I don't know how to turn it off at this point because it's shared upon shared upon shared. It's everywhere. And I got a ton of leads from Brazil. I didn't post anything in Brazil. So really, you just need, just like with Janess, you got to duplicate. Spend the time on it. Get creative where you're going to post. It doesn't have to just be on Facebook. Go into the internet. It's a huge place, and it's just kind of something will catch hold at some point, and you'll go viral.
Right on, right on. Kelly, you shared some great things with us. Kelly was just trying to think outside of the box. Was posting on the same thing. Maybe wasn't getting results. Maybe there's somebody out there like you, or maybe you're out there thinking, where should I post next? Where should I post next to get the next 15,000 leads? But what Kelly's trying to say is, she studied for a second, thought to herself, there's got to be a different way, and started to contact bloggers. And if you come up with something, go for it. Go for it. Take some action and go for it. Then Kelly had no idea. It's so funny to hear Kelly say, I tweeted it out. Because I know Kelly.
I am not techie.
Right? Kelly was like, I tweeted that out. I don't even know what that means. Somehow my link I put in Brazil, and I'm over here with 15,000 leads, more leads than I know how to deal with. I love Kelly for that. That's awesome.
And
so
it's very, I'm sure the people that are on the marketing system, when I first started on it, I saw the whole leaderboard, and I thought, well, there's no way. There is no way I'm ever going to be on that leaderboard. And then you finally get on the leaderboard, and then it becomes I don't want to say game. It wasn't a game.
It's like a competition.
Competition. It just excites you, and it's like, okay, now where else can I put it? I got to get up there. I just want to get above that person. And I set my little sights, little by little by little. And I think the big two were passing up Cedric and Mike Brady.
Yeah. I know. So, I remember Amanda, and she passed up Mike, and I remember you passed up Mike, and we kind of did like a little, yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah. Well, and that that was when Amanda was on fire. I
Uh-huh.
mean, she was absolutely on fire, and I was like, what is she doing? And I think that I think that charged me more to find, find that place. I mean, I did searches on the internet to try to find her posts or see what she was doing. I couldn't find any of them. So
Right.
you just kind of got to do your thing, think out of the box, and if one goes viral, don't freak out. There's plenty of people that need leads. So
Right on. Right on. Great information. Kelly, thank you so much for
you're
hanging
welcome.
out with us. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. One second. So Kelly is our featured member of TTO. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Brent
You're
Stewart,
welcome.
thank you again. Brent Stewart is up next. So if you guys give me a second, Brent, announce yourself. I'm going to take care of this for a hot second here, but announce yourself.
All right. Okay. Hey, everybody. I'm Brent Stewart. I'm from Kelowna, BC, Canada. And this is my first hangout. And you want to talk about ultra low tech? That's me. And I really hear what Kelly was saying about not being real techy. It took me a couple of tries even to get on this hangout. So, but I really appreciate the technology, and I appreciate how it works. But I'm sure glad it's simple as pushing a button here or there. Not sure how long Cheryl's going to be, but I know there
Hey,
she is. Hey.
here I am. Here I am. So I'm just going to hop right in. I don't even know what Brent said, but okay, I'm going to introduce you guys to Brent. So Brent is an incredible person. Like I said, Brent is from Canada. Super funny guy. He's also a Harley rider, so he knows something about conquering some fear in his life. I don't know how many of you are like, yeah, I just hop on Harleys and ride all the time. I know he has been on calls with some super duper ear gear where we can still hear him riding his bike, so he can listen in on it, which is awesome. So Brent, you want to talk to us about conquering fears and some things. What are some things or a tip that you have on conquering fear? Tell us some of the fears that you may have encountered in this. I know even getting on the Google Hangout was like, oh boy. But go ahead.
Well, I think fear is our biggest enemy before we actually attempt it. And once we get into what the fear is, it's not all that bad. We look back on things and think, well, it wasn't all that bad. But fear oftentimes presents itself as something that we've made up in our own minds, and it's not as bad as what we thought it was. I've never had a fear of riding Harleys, but definitely when you're going into a corner at 100 and some, well, maybe there's some 80 miles an hour. When you're going into a corner at that speed and you know what to do, but you still have that little thought in the back of your mind that, oh, maybe you should, but you test out everything you've known, what you've trained for, what you've done, everything you've read, and you put it into action. And I think our biggest fears will multiply and multiply and multiply if we don't take the action to either conquer it or just do it. And I think our biggest fears can be conquered by just straight up action. And a lot of times I'll put off things, and if we put things off, the longer we put them off, the worse they are. The longer we ignore or try not to conquer our fears, the worse they get. If you hate making phone calls, if you hate going face to face with somebody and you keep putting it off, it gets worse. So what I try and do in order to conquer that, it's not really a fear, but just the stuff that I don't want to do. I'll make those worst phone calls first, and then if I win, it's a big win, and the rest of the phone calls are awesome. If I lose, the next ones aren't going to be so bad anyway because that was the worst one, but I get it out of the way. And if you spread it out over a long period of time, it's just that worst thing, that fear, that fear of failure. It just extends. So I try and get it out of the way. If you hate making phone calls, make all your phone calls Monday morning. Then the rest of the week is a breeze. If you love making phone calls, leave those till Friday afternoon and do the thing you hate worse.
Right on.
Do that Monday morning.
For sure, for sure. I know there are some things that we all, fear. It's like picking up the phone. Do I fear that? It's like, do I fear shooting a video? Do I fear shooting getting on a Google Hangout or live video or Facebook Live or Periscope or Blab or Snapchat or Twitter, whatever that you have to fear. But I mean, I just want to kind of piggyback on what Brent was saying, is that if you do those things first, take some massive action and just decide, you know what, I have to do it. I have to do it and get it out of the way. It's like strapping yourself into your scariest ride when you get to an amusement park. Like I went to the amusement park with the kids. I was like, that one looks scary. Let's go on that first. Strap me in. It's time to go. So that's one of the things. I also think a lot of people start to fear rejection and what people think. You know, they're criticizing other people, you know, and they're afraid that people are going to criticize them as well. Would you agree, Brent?
I do. And you know what? And if you're so engrossed in improving yourself, you don't have time to criticize other people. And if you're so ingrained on improving yourself, people criticizing you doesn't matter anymore. And it's like, it's kind of like if you have an appointment with somebody and you really put a lot of you're thinking, this is the one, man, this is awesome. If this person gets in, I can retire. And then they cancel on you. And then like your world falls apart. Okay? If you have 8 other appointments to go to, that one doesn't mean so much anymore. It's the same as if you surround yourself with like Kelly and you, Coco, and all the positive people in TTO, that one person nittering, nattering, yin, yin, yin in the background, it doesn't mean anything. It's like you've got this kind of like this veil about you. You can see them all out there, and you're just like, you're laughing at them or whatever, right? But you have that self-confidence. But as long as you, and I've heard it before about keeping your pipeline full. If you've only got 2 people to call, and the first one hangs up on you and tells you never to call again, you've only got 1 more, and that's a big fear. Because if this one says no, I'm screwed. Okay, but if like Kelly, like with 15,000 leads, are you kidding me? If this one says no, thank God, because I wouldn't have to spend 20 minutes talking to her, and I can go on to the next one, right? Keeping your pipeline full like that will eliminate all your fear, and surrounding yourself with positive people. Because I've learned in the last 9 months I've been in Jeunesse, I've learned that there's a hell of a lot more fun and a hell of a lot more people. Sorry about that, but HE double hockey sticks, more people to be fun to hang around than there is the criticizing people out there, and it really gets to be a little bit distracting. And I love this cell phone challenge that Cedric has going on right now, where we're spending about half an hour, 2 hours. Nobody has 2 hours in the morning, I don't think, unless you get up at 4 a.m. Spending an hour not looking at Facebook, not looking at your phone first thing in the morning, but maybe doing some meditation, maybe doing some self-improvement. Right first thing when you get up in the morning, make your coffee, put your headphones on, and listen to some Og Mandino, or listen to some Zig Ziglar, or listen to some Cedric Harris first thing in the morning. Man, that makes a big difference in your day, and you start off listening to those kind of people. I can tell you that right now.
For sure. Starting off your day right can definitely help you conquer your fears, you know. I listened to Eric Thomas. I can't say how many times I've said this on this Hangout, how many times I've said this, so many times. I listen to Eric Thomas every single morning. Every morning. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? And he talks about wanting it as much as you want to breathe. If you have not gone on YouTube, go to YouTube and look up Eric Thomas. How bad do you want it? You want to conquer your fear quick? You'll listen to that and conquer your fear quick. All you have to do is decide you want it more than you're afraid of it.
And you know what, Cheryl, when you're recommending that to people, make sure they want it as much as you want it for them. Yep. Because I have actually bought the 10X theory, or the 10X rule for people, and they haven't opened it. I've actually sent a $45 audiobook from Les Brown to people, and they haven't even bothered to click on it. You know, and I was stupid because I didn't ask them ahead of time whether they would listen to it before I spent the money and sent it to them. I just assumed that everybody's like me, and if somebody gives me a gift, I'm going to open it. But I've actually had those people say, yeah, you know what, that kind of stuff puts me to sleep. I'm like, okay, yeah, well, I think like your reruns of the Cosby Show is putting you to sleep, but whatever, because if you really listen to this stuff, it wouldn't put you to sleep. But you recommending what you're recommending, make sure that people are open to that, because you're just wasting your time if they're not. And so you really want to, select your audience, and and you know, put stack the cards in your favor, because you know, I think I heard somebody mention just recently about looking for the blue M&Ms in a box. I think it was your speaker last week, and she was talking about, you know, a red M&M is a red M&M. No matter how you try, no matter how you bang it on the table, no matter how you try, it's not going to turn into a blue one. No matter how much you want it to, you just got to put that red one aside and keep looking for the blue one. And it's the same thing with recommending this type of thing. If the audience is open to it, man, it's awesome. It's such a good feeling. If the audience is closed to it, you're like banging your head against the wall.
Right on. Totally true. I know. I think like all the time I'm like thinking that people are just as excited as I am. They're so hungry for knowledge. I stay up till crazy hours and listen to the craziest things and find every training I can and listen and listen. But you're right. Not everybody's going to feel the same way, or they get that 10x rule book and like they read it in an hour or two because they're so excited that they just finally got it in their hands that it's amazing. So
it's such a good feeling as a giver too.
Make you like, yes, somebody likes it. So, you know, that's one of the things that you want to make sure that people are into doing the same thing that you are. You're going to see when you start that self-improvement, reading the 10x rule, stuff like that. Things start to change. We talk about failing forward, like to not be ashamed of failing. I mean, I think it's funny now to me. Before I would be I would be like, Cheryl, oh my goodness, what did you do today? Why did you call that person? I have phone call memories that would blow people's minds. I have salon memories of people cursing me. I have falling videos. I have done vendor events where people were like, we are not inviting her back. I have done, but I was still taking action. I wasn't, at the time, it might not have felt like the greatest feeling, but I'm telling you, if you keep on taking action, you're going to see that the failures were all worth it, right, Brent?
Yeah, you know what, and it's funny because I often think, because I'm going to the gym like 6 days a week now, and I'm on this program, and I'm just loving it, and I look at, well, I'm not going to say, I'll just say this. You see people using certain pieces of equipment for the first time, and they look ridiculous, okay? You know, they're hanging up by the cables, and they don't know how they're using the machine, and, you know, they're trying, but they just can't get it. And then you see the people 3 weeks later, and they're just crushing it. They know what they're doing, and they practice, right? Practice. And but the thing about failure is you cannot succeed without failure. You can't. And going back to the gym thing, we push ourselves every set to failure. An accomplishment at the gym and when you're doing exercises is that point of failure. Because you push 10, 20 push-ups. When you do 20 pushes, you go for that extra 2, and that's the point of failure, and that's when you succeed. And that's and we get this whole screwed up concept that failure is a bad thing. But when we start to realize that the only way that we get to the next step is by failing the first 3 or whatever, then our whole mind starts to change, and that's the biggest thing we need to do. And the biggest failure we have is thinking that our mind is straight and everything else is wrong, which in real fact it's probably that our mind is wrong and everything else is just waiting for us to get our mind straight, right? And
one second, you know, like he was talking about failing and going to the gym and doing things like that, and I'm going to come back to Kelly, who could have been defeated, who could have decided, I don't know how to get these leads out, who could have said, this is a failure, this is what this is, I can't figure out how to get. I've posted enough times. But she was just like, okay, moving on. I'm going to keep stepping and keep going and keep going and keep going, and finally found the whole Twitter thing and somehow has 15,000 leads. It wasn't a failure to her, like Brent was saying. It wasn't a failure. She failed forward. Go ahead, Brent.
Absolutely. And I think the other thing is oftentimes a failure is what we haven't been able to accomplish in somebody else's eyes, and I think we set ourselves up sometimes. We're not working towards our potential, but we're working towards somebody else's ideals. And if you want to really stay motivated, and if you really want to succeed, you need to not listen to what everybody else is saying, but work towards your own potential. Not somebody else's idea of what success is, but what your own idea of success is. Some people don't want to be a millionaire, and that's cool. But if you're constantly listening to somebody that wants to be a millionaire and thinking that you have to do the same thing, then you're setting yourself up to fail on their perspective, not on yours. So you need to think about potential as opposed to quotas. And, 15,000 leads, that's amazing. And anybody would love to have that. But there's some people that couldn't handle that. There's some people that they would so fail because that's so overwhelming, and that's not maybe what they want to do. But maybe they love going to the flea markets or the farmers fairs or whatever they're called, and putting instantly ageless and getting a couple of retail sales, and that's their idea of success. That's their potential. So I think a lot of times fear of failure or failure is something that we set ourselves up to on somebody else's expectations, not our own. And that's where you were talking earlier about your why, and people's whys. They need to know their own why. And then failure isn't so imminent if you're not trying to live up to somebody else's idea of success.
Oh, I was trying to hit the unmute, but but I hit the video thing. So yeah, I definitely agree. Live up to your own potential, what you see. That was really good stuff, Brent. Thank you. Brent has written down, like, we share some notes, and I love that he wrote down, "Don't be beige, aim to be extraordinary." Tell me more about that, Brent.
Well, I've always had this funny saying of 50% of people are below average, right? And 50% of people are above average, and it's really, really cool to not to be beige, because beige is boring. And if you sit on the couch and watch Game of Thrones or whatever TV show is popular now, I don't know if that show's on even on anymore. I hardly ever watch TV, but that's ordinary. Anybody can be ordinary. That doesn't excite anybody, And to go that, it's vibrant. Cheryl, you're vibrant. I mean, people love to listen to you. People love to be around you because you have that energy, man. It's like you're not beige at all. I don't. In fact, I bet you I come to your house and there's not a beige thing in your house.
Not a beige thing.
You're not beige, but if it might look kind of out there for people to reach for that extraordinary, but it doesn't take a lot. It's like just the slightest little changes in what you do all of a sudden become that extraordinary thing. And I love the story of the space shuttle heading out into space, where it's correcting itself like thousands of times a minute to stay on the path that it's on. And if it was just like ordinary and you just like pointed from A to B and just the way you went, that's all it would be. It just but it's constantly correcting itself, and I think that's what being extraordinary is all about. Is it's going to have a huge impact on you in the long run. At the time that you're doing it, it doesn't mean a lot. Okay. At the time that you don't eat that Big Mac, it doesn't mean a lot at that time. That one Big Mac's not going to kill you, but that Big Mac repeated over time is going to make you fat. It's going to kill you. It's the same thing as eating a salad today isn't going to make you healthy, but eating a salad over time, just the slightest little change. And so people think extraordinary is this great, big, huge thing, right? But it isn't really. It's just little changes taken over time that result in this huge, extraordinary thing. And just one more story about I'm a golfer, and when you're hitting a golf ball, you're hitting this little ball on this tee, and you're hitting it down the fairway 300 yards. And if you hit it slightly, and I'm talking about an eighth of an inch off, this thing is going into the woods that way, or it's going into the lake that way. But that slightest little change on your golf club is going to make an extraordinary result down the end, because your golf ball is not going to go straight. And so people get this misconstrued idea that extraordinary means that I got to sell the house, I got to divorce my wife, I got to abandon the kids, I got to do all this stuff that's just going to make this extraordinary change in my life, when it simply could be spending that a half hour in the morning listening to someone positive instead of scrolling through Facebook, somebody else's life, living somebody else's life through their own pages on Facebook. So it doesn't have, and so I think I might have got off a little topic a little bit, but I think I love the word extraordinary if people have it in perspective again, where slightest little changes today are going to make extraordinary results down the line. And I think that's huge. I think that's huge.
For sure. You know, you're talking about being extraordinary or doing extraordinary things, that tiny, tiny bit of change, right, Brent? But it's going that extra mile.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
You know?
Yeah, there's nobody on that road.
Yeah. There's nobody on that
That's
road
the
to
best
going the
highway to
extra
be
mile.
on, man. It's like maybe it's like go that extra mile because it's bare and doing the things that people aren't willing to do. You know, doing the things that coming on this hangout. Sherry, you said she had technical issues. I had other things I could be doing, but doing the things that other people aren't willing to do. I ask for volunteers for things for people all the time, and it's not that they don't have time. It's not that nothing. It's just they're not willing to do it. And the reason that people fail at things is because they don't do things that people are willing to do. The successful people are willing to do. Sorry. And so, but going the extra mile, it's like the push-up thing again. You're wanting to do 20 push-ups, do 2 more. I mean, that's like going that extra mile. That's pushing yourself, working to your potential. It all links into each other. You know what I mean? Like, it's all motivational, and it makes you feel so good. But if yesterday you did 5 push-ups, and you wanting to go do 20 today, and you get that 20, or maybe you get 15. Maybe you get 15, but you only did 5 yesterday. You feel so good about failing the last 5 because you did something beyond your potential. So cool. It's so cool.
It's like doing whatever is more, doing the tough. Deciding that you're going to do the tough or the hard work, that little tiny extra bit. We talked about being the most reliable of our friends.
Mm-hmm.
We find people all the time. Like for me, it's like, can I get a volunteer? Can I? Mm-hmm. To me, like the moment that somebody asks you to volunteer, you're like, me, yeah. I'll help out. And being the most reliable of your friends that is making a big difference. Go ahead,
and it's motivating for people. You can always say no, right? Like you don't have to be like the whipping boy, but when somebody needs a hand, if you have the time to do it, do it. Be the most dependable person your friends know. Be the most dependable people that your friends know. And if you do say no, they understand that. Oh, okay. If he can't do it, then he must be really busy. But it's really cool for someone to come to you and call on you first. Hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? Because that's very motivating. And it's starting to get a little bit of a theme here. What we're talking about is it's all self-motivation and feeling good about yourself and everything. And we have a devastating thing happening up here in Canada with the forest fires and stuff. And I got a call. The forest fire, it's actually where I used to work. There was 80,000 people evacuated. Okay, so an entire city is evacuated, the size of, well, U.S. cities. I don't know, but you can imagine an entire city of 80,000 people being evacuated. They're losing their homes and everything else. I have a buddy that was working up there up until yesterday. I was in the grocery store last night, and I got a phone call. And he says, I don't get paid till Wednesday. Can you book me a flight? Like, I'm evacuated. I don't have no way to get home. He called me, and I said, yeah, man. As soon as I get home, I'll book you a flight, man. It's all good. Like, I know the guy. He'll pay me. It's not a big deal. But, man, after I hung up the phone, I told my girlfriend, I said, yeah, Scotty, he needed a ride home. Or he needs a flight home from work. Like, he's evacuated. He's going to sleep in the airport if he doesn't get home. And what a cool feeling. So I was the first phone call he made, and I was there for him. And yeah, it helped him, but what it did for me in return, that's so cool. It's such a cool feeling, right? So be the most dependable person you or your friends know.
Right on. That's an awesome story, Brent. Thank you for sharing. The feeling that you get from being that friend is an incredible feeling. The feeling that you get, Brent and I talked about giving way more than is expected of you.
Uh-huh.
We were talking about don't under-promise and over-deliver. Over-promise and over-deliver. That's an over-promise and an over-deliver. And look at Brent. I wonder who's smiling brighter. Let's take a look at Brent. Who's smiling brighter, you or him?
Ah, I'm
right?
smiling.
Right?
Yeah, so cool.
I mean, it's amazing. Like your friend counted on you. Your friend knew he could rely on you.
Yeah,
You do some incredible things.
I'm
Stepping
gonna sign
out.
him up tomorrow.
There you go. Sign up tomorrow. I
I
mean,
think probably not.
hey, you never know. Putting people in the pipeline though. Putting
But you
people in
know,
the pipeline.
yeah, and that whole under promise and over deliver thing is a bunch of crap. That's a bunch of crap. That's just giving you a way out. Like I heard that all my life. I heard, under promise and over deliver, and you're going to overwhelm your customer. Well, you know what? If you over promise and over deliver, you're going to overwhelm yourself. You're going to realize what you were capable of at that point. You know, and you know what? People might look at that and say, you know what? Well, that's stupid. You can't do that. But I mean, you shouldn't lie to people, and you shouldn't promise them things you can't deliver on. But overpromise them, give them more than what they expect, but never diminish what you can give them, knowing that you can give them more just to surprise them. Does that make sense? Like here's 100%. I know I can give them 120%. I'm gonna shoot for 140 and just overwhelm them. I'm gonna call them the next day. I'm gonna make sure that I track their package, and when it gets there, I'm gonna call them and see how they liked it. I'm gonna look on my J Mobile. As soon as they looked at the video, I'm gonna give them a call and say, "What did you love about that?" The stuff that you can do that doesn't cost you any money, that doesn't jeopardize your integrity, that's not immoral, that's not illegal. The things that you can do just by being something for somebody is going to overwhelm them because they don't get that from anybody else. It's kind of, I'm a chef, you know that, and I worked in the restaurant business for a long time. The waitresses that made the most money in the restaurant were the ones that went above and beyond. And it's not because they gave them an extra chocolate pudding or, bought them free dessert when they're actually stealing from the restaurant by buying them free dessert and not punching it in. Those aren't the ones that did it. The ones that did it and ones that made more money than the ones that were stealing and giving it to the customers are the ones that went over and above. They checked back 6 times instead of 4. They made sure that everything was great. If the service was crazy. And that's what I mean by over promise and over deliver. And then your clients are going to be happy, but that's something that's for you as well, right? Because it makes you feel so good.
Right on.
So
Right
good.
on. Definitely.
So good.
So good. Dance break, so good.
So good.
Definitely. Like I can totally relate to what like you'll see some people that are like, I'm only capable of 50%, but no, I'm not. I'm gonna give them 100%. They just don't know it yet. They just
Yeah.
don't know it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely over promise and over deliver.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about some incredible things here and the fear of failure and things like that. If you could give somebody, one piece of great advice, something that you've done to get rid of your fear of failure, something that you could think of. I'm putting you on the spot right now.
Yeah, you are.
But yeah, so I'll kind of share first while you're thinking. I mean, people think, hey, it's Cheryl Coco, she shoots videos all the time, and that was so simple and easy.
Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't. The first time I shot a video, I paced the hallway that's right over here 25 times and did 50,000 takes and was in the bathroom like I can't, but I did it anyway. People, I'm kind of confess something to you. We had this power hour thing where people asked me to do this Periscope, and I would be fooling myself if I said, hey, guess what? That didn't scare me at all. It wasn't that it didn't. It wasn't that I wasn't the tiniest bit intimidated of, oh my gosh, I got to get on Periscope and live up to the standard of whatever. It was that I was just okay, I know that you're afraid of it, just go and do it anyway. We're just going to figure out how to do it anyway. Wanting it as bad as you wanted to breathe, wanting it more than you're afraid of it. Right, Brent? You agree with what I'm saying here?
I absolutely do. And, you want to do the things that challenge you the most. And people, and there's another kind of a hokey thing that people say, do what you love, do what your passion is, do that. And to me, that's living within your comfort zone. You got to do what challenges you. And, if it's riding a bull, go do it. If it's skydiving, go do it. Whatever it is. It might scare the crap out of you at first, but and I guarantee you, skydiving, the worst part of it is that plane ride up to 10,000 feet or 20,000 feet, man. It's the worst part. And then buddy in the back is pushing you out the door, and all of a sudden well, that's it. That's the worst part. And then it's like, wow, this is awesome, right? I guess you want a personal story? Is that what you want? A personal story of challenges? Well, one of the
Anything
things
you
that,
want to share.
sure, yeah. But one of the things that happened to me was when I built my entire Jeunesse business over the phone and online because I was in remote logging mining camps and oil camps up north. I actually went Sapphire over the phone, and I had zero. I had never had a personal one-on-one conversation face to face with a human being until February this year. So I'd already been in the business for like 8 months or whatever. And then one of my teammates that I think is probably on this hangout, she asked me to do a presentation. I had never seen a presentation. I had never done a presentation, and now we're renting this room, and I'm up standing in front of a room and creating my own PowerPoint presentation, and I'm like, holy crap, they're going to think I'm an idiot, right? And they probably did, but whatever. I'm better at it now. But then it was like I wouldn't have joined, and we had like 6 people join that night. Like it was like crazy. But if I was sitting in the room looking at me go through that monkey madness there, I would have joined another company, just to spite them because the guy was an idiot up there. They dressed me up and put me in front of a room and like wound me up, and that was it. But you know what? I think the biggest thing about that whole presentation was I truly believe in what I'm doing. I truly believe in what's going on, and I think that message probably went out in front of the group of people that was there, where I don't care who was talking in the audience, they came back at me. And the saving grace of this whole thing is that we periscoped or zoomed Cedric in at the end of the meeting. I'm like, oh, thank God, he's here to close this meeting. And then again, it was like the whole plane ride up. The whole plane ride up was me. First of all, the TV wouldn't work. And so the guy that owns the restaurant was in there trying to fix the TV, and the meeting, 10 minutes into the meeting, we still couldn't get the TV to work, and he's blaming me because he said I hit a switch and blah, it was a mess. So then I'm going through these PowerPoint slides, and then the video wouldn't work, and there's no sound, and we got like samples of the Zen products over there to sample to people, and I'm like, why don't you just sample them, and I'll just try to get this thing to work, and it was just a mess. Then boom, 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 and then finally we couldn't get Cedric to work on the TV, but he's talking, I mean nobody could see him, and then we got that to work, and I'm holding the laptop up so people could see Cedric talking, and it was crazy. But at the end of the day, after all those failures, and you want to talk about failure, there was probably about 43 of them that night in a 45-minute period. The message got through. Nobody got hurt. Everybody survived, and I think we got 6 signups that night out of 18 people. So it was very cool.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful story. I absolutely love it. I absolutely understand it.
I'm glad you loved it because I hated it. It was actually, I had a full head of hair before that meeting.
And it all just went. Sacrifices we make.
Yeah. Sacrifices, right.
Sacrifice my hair for this.
Yeah.
I could so relate. Oh my gosh. That is so relatable. I can remember my first meeting, Brent, was exactly the same.
Hell, I was sweating.
It was a mess. We were in the side of a pizza place somewhere. I had taken a plane ride. I had no idea really in reality what I was going to do, but I was so passionate. Right? Yep. I think that's what saved me. I was so passionate about what we were going to do that no one could tell me anything different. My passion saved my fear. I was just like, move this chair, do this, let's do this, let's do that. And then we actually had Cedric come out for one, and the chairs wouldn't get delivered, stuff wouldn't happen. But it's just like Brent said, it was going up the roller coaster. But when that meeting was over, it was like jumping out of how much fun was it? Like oh my gosh, I have girls on my team that I have taken plane rides. We crack up. Coco, what were you thinking?
But Coco, who are we kidding? I think it's more that if they can do it, we can do it.
Right?
It has nothing to do with, they're passionate or nothing like that. That monkey can do it. I can certainly do this thing. If that dude up there can sell skincare, man, I'm in. That's what it's more like.
Right? Totally. Like, I can so relate to slides not changing, things not happening. I mean, seriously. I mean, it all goes back to phone on video. Anything.
No, I have a new clicker for my presentation. It just arrived today on Amazon.
Look at that.
So yeah, so I'm getting all pro now. So it's not going to happen again, right? Who am I kidding?
But that's the whole point of it. You were willing to take the steps, go the extra mile. You were willing to fail forward. What if you would have never done that first presentation? You were caged in a fear of failure.
Yep.
Failure is like this, like a prison that does not exist.
Yep.
Like we stay caged in it and backed against the wall, and we're like, I can't do it, I can't do it. Right? But what if you never took the first step out? What if you never did that wild presentation that the next time I see you in Orlando, the first thing I'm saying to you is, your hair got lost at that presentation. No, I'm teasing you about that.
I'm going through, I'm going through the room with my hair on fire. There's a book or something about that. I can't remember what it's called.
See, Brent is really funny. I would love to be at that meeting. I would have signed up with you. Brent. I
don't think so. I don't think so.
But look at you now. Brent, I'm coming to myself because
look at me now.
Brent has a clicker. He's got a remote for his slides. Dude, he's such a
see, I got the equipment.
He's got the equipment. Like, look at Brent. Like, I was sitting here. I asked everybody, I'm like, do you have ear gear? And Brent was like, I got ear gear and a microphone. I was like, I'm going to get me one of them microphones.
First of all, I had to understand what ear gear was. I thought it was some New Jersey thing because I'd never heard of it before. I have headphones. I have earbuds, but I didn't know. I thought it was an app. Oh man, now she's gonna make me get this app, and I'm on a Mac, and I've never seen it before, and I gotta go buy a PC to be on this stupid Hangout thing, and. But, sorry.
No, I was trying to get my techie terms right. I like.
I understand now.
Like, she's
and
so
Kelly was on the same boat. I'm sure that she. What ear gear? What the hell?
Yeah.
Ear gear.
He was like, I don't know what ear gear is.
It's gonna be famous now. So that's all it is.
That's it. Whenever you see me, you'll remember Reese cups.
Ear gear.
I remember Reese cups. I like chocolate and ear gear. To me. Different ear gear. That's awesome. So the next time we see Brent, wherever in Orlando, make sure we all know the story of how Brent lost his hair. That's only something that you can get on Hanging with TTO, which is amazing. I mean, how will we not know that? He went to that meeting with his hair on fire, which is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, conquering your fear. All these things that we talk about, conquering your fear, you guys, that was so totally getting out of the comfort zone, thinking outside of the box. This man built a business from his telephone, never seeing anybody. It's an incredible story of, honestly, it's a great thing to hear. I hope you guys all understand how powerful this could be, to know that you can do it too. I mean, it's funny, and we laugh about Brent having this, you know, talking on the phone to people, never seeing anybody, working in, I remember, like, some of the things that you would finally put on Facebook later and things like that, always following. But the fact that it is possible to be able to do all those things. If you want to hold a meeting, do it. You have to take that first step and do it. You have to jump. You have to jump. And you have the support system of all of TTO. So if you come across adversity, if you come across the things where you don't feel like people are supporting you, you come to this hangout on Tuesday. You come and talk to Brent. You go and talk to Kelly. You go and talk to all the leaders that are in this team. And you find that we're the people that are going to support you. That we're the people that months from now, I promise you that you will laugh at every video that you did, every single meeting that you've gone to and it didn't work out, everything that you've done, that is every phone call that you made, every time somebody did something, we're going to laugh and laugh and laugh about it and have the greatest road to success. So the road to success is fun. It's bumpy. It's not just one way. Remember he was saying how they went to the moon this way, but they have to keep correcting? That's the road to success, right? We got to keep correcting it and keep correcting it. It's not going to be one great straight line. It's not. It's an amazing journey. It's so great to hear somebody else's story, the things that they've done to conquer fear. Want it more than you want to breathe. I don't know if you have anything else to add to that, Brent. Leave it to you.
No.
You're amazing.
Oh, thanks. So are you,
Thank you.
Cheryl and Kelly. I mean, wow, great story, and this is very cool. And I gotta admit, I haven't been on too many Hangouts. I've been on as many as I can be. I think we can get overwhelmed with the number of phone calls and everything else, but very cool. And I'm going to tell you, I went back and watched a few of the archived ones as well. And so if anybody is just watching this and you're interested in what these Hangouts are all about, make sure you get into the marketing system and go back and watch some of the archived uh, Hangouts, because they're very cool. And I think if I want to leave anything with the fear and motivation stuff, give way more than what's expected of you. That's what we want when we are looking at people. You know, we go into a restaurant, and I often had to tell people, as the chef, I would have to tell people, like the serving staff, even though you do this every day for a living, um, those people that are coming into the restaurant, that might be their only meal that they go out for in an entire year. So you got to make it as special for them as you can make it, because you don't know who they are, right? You need to make it so special for them, because you don't know if it's the only meal they get to eat out. They can only afford. Maybe they saved up for this meal for 6 months to go out for this meal, and you're the one that's in control of it. If you give them crappy service, you've ruined their entire meal for an entire year. They can't do this again for another year. So you make sure you treat them like you would want to be treated, and I think we need to think of that no matter what we're doing, whether we're spreading Jeunesse, whether what we're doing with anything in our lives. If we have the control over somebody else's experience, we need to give it everything we got. That's what we all want, and people need to think of that first, and then they'll think of you first.
Beautifully said, Brent. Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to
Thanks
just
for
give
having
one
me.
last shout out to Brent. Thank you, Brent, so much for coming to hang out with us, talking about your fears, sharing your stories with us, which were absolutely incredible, and I know they are unforgettable for us. So as you guys can see, anything, anything is possible. I love this industry. I love network marketing. It is, like I was saying about the Matrix earlier, if anybody swallowed the pill, I swallowed that pill. I love it. I love it. I hope you guys love it as much as I do. Be willing to conquer your fears. Be willing to get out of that cage that doesn't even exist. Take some massive action. Even if you're afraid, go be like Kelly and decide, hey, this is something that I want to conquer. And be that person that gets 15,000 leads. I want to be the next person that's featured on the Hang with TTO Hangout. I want to do incredible things. In order to do those things, we have to conquer fear. We just have to. All good things are on the other side of fear. We have two amazing people that shared incredible stories with us today. I want to say thank you guys. Once again, Brent, you're amazing. You know, I'm messaging you and we're going to laugh for days. The relationships that you can create inside of TTO, it all goes back. I keep referring to it, The Matrix. Go watch that movie and when you have 3 seconds of your life, or fast forward through a YouTube channel or something. But the relationships, it's like family. All people that are going to support you on this journey. I'm very, very happy to know all of you guys inside of TTO. You guys bless my heart every single day. Every single day. Brent, you make me smile all the time. We have the greatest conversation. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Coco, I'm going to interrupt you for a
Yeah,
minute.
go.
I want to congratulate you
Oh,
on being
oh
the
no.
TTO. What are we calling it anyway? Member of the month?
Yeah.
Distributor of the month?
Remember the
Person of
month.
the month?
Remember
But
the
I
month.
agree with Cedric that it should be named the Cheryl Coco Award,
Oh, thank
because,
you.
no, I swear to God, man, I first met Coco, well, I heard her. I'm like, what? Who is that? It's like, yo, Jersey girl, whatever. I can't even say it right, but I'm like,
Rocky
wow.
Balboa.
And then so I saw her videos, and then I met her in Orlando, and I thought she was like 6'1", and she's like not.
People say that all the time.
And like,
Sure.
she looks very tall. And then I saw the picture of you like crawling inside of a washing machine, so I knew how big you were at that point. But I got to tell you, I've seen people that go through the motions, and they're the first people to hook up the audio projector at the meeting, or they collect tickets at the door, and there's all those people that are very valuable to it. And I think, and there's people that are living to a quota and not living to their potential. If you want to see somebody who's living their potential and really giving her all, giving way more than expected, I know that Cedric would agree with me that Miss Cheryl Coco is the most amazing person that I've ever come into contact with, and the willingness to help people. And I know that you and I have a common friend in one of my downline, Jeremy Jackman, that you've just helped immensely. You know, and you haven't even, you know, you may not know that you've helped people, but I think that's one of the greatest things about this business is you're helping people and you don't even know it, and then 2 years down the road they're going to come up to you and say, man, you changed my life. And Cheryl, I know that that is going to happen to you over and over and over and over and over. And I so appreciate you, and you're so deserving. In fact, we should put you on the prepaid member of the month for the next 6 months, because you deserve it so much. But anyway, sorry I interrupted you, but I had to say that. I was meaning to say that earlier, and I totally forgot.
No, thank you so much. Like, I'm probably really blushing and red. But thank you so much. I appreciate that, Brent. I'm so grateful to know you guys as well. Kind of at a loss for words now. That's what happens to me. But hold on, let me compose myself. Thank you so much, Brent. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart. I absolutely love this team. I love network marketing to my soul. I think I was born for this. I think a lot of us know what we were born for. And this is my passion. I absolutely love it. Every single day of it, every single minute of it. I enjoy being with you guys. Thank you, Brent, for being here. Kelly, thank you for being here and inspiring so many of us to reach outside of our comfort zone and conquer our fears. It's an honor and a pleasure to be with you guys every single Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's my heart every week. Thank you guys for letting me be a part of TTO. Thank you guys for letting me be a part of your lives. I absolutely love it. Good night, you guys. Bye-bye.